Okay. So today our chapter is today our chapter is that is the plant growth and development. Okay, as we all know, this like the other important characteristics of living organism, no, growth and development is very important characteristics. All the living organism, with of course some exception is there, that all the living organism, they grow and develop. Okay, so actually what is growth? Growth is here, you can get that growth is a irreversible and permanent increase. This is a change, and this change is permanent increase. Okay, increase maybe in, it is maybe in size, increase in size, increase in weight, increase in volume. Okay, all sort of increase in number. Okay, that is a number of cells, say like the multicellular organism, they grow by increasing number. Number of cells are increased. And along with that, of course, the weight also increases, volume increases. So for unicellular organism, when they grow, they usually what happens, protoplasm is formed. So their size and mass also increase. So this is a permanent and irreversible. That is one way traffic, you can say. It goes, it increase but does not decrease. So irreversible and permanent increase in size of an organ. In an organism, in a plant, there are different organ is there, root is there, stem, branches, leaf, flower, fruit, so seeds. Okay, this so either of its organ or parts of the plant, or even the entire individual and the individual cell. So this is what happened in case of growth. And growth, along with this, there is expenditure of energy. And this process, actually process of growth, is a metabolic process. Actually, it is not that in case of what growth takes place in the non-living organism, that the material is added to that. Here also material is added, but this is by the metabolic process. Okay, metabolism which is absent in non-living, here in the. Now growth takes place all in case of animal, in case of plant, in case of eukaryote, prokaryote, in every organism it takes place. But the plant growth is actually, it is a unique process. It is unique. Why? Say we can see that the animals growing in our, around us, and the plants growing around us. The plant growth is continuous. It continue to grow till it is living. Okay. So it is, this growth is unique, and it is indeterminate and open. This point is very important. It is indeterminate, indefinite growth, open growth, indefinite. We animals, we human beings, we grow up to certain age or certain time. Our size, etc., increases. After that, the growth is almost stop. Okay, but the plants, every year we can see that a new leaf, stem, branches, etc., flower, fruits, etc., are coming. Maybe it is slow, but there is it continue. So this process is a indeterminate process, and it is open. Open is one term is used, that because what happened in the plant growth, it is due to meristem. All right. Plant growth is due to presence of meristem. Meristem is the tissue that where the constituent cell divide and produce new cells. Is it? Means meristem by its activity always new cells are added. Is it? So as the new cells are added and this meristem live till death. Okay, till they are living, means so long they are living life, this meristem is functional. So always new cells are added and growth continues, and this why this process we call that the plant growth is open, plant growth is indeterminate, that is unlimited, indefinite. And plant growth also is one thing. There is say in the animal there is a definite shape, size, their limbs. We have two hands, two legs, or definite say nose, here, ears are there. No, definite number of organs are there even in animals also. But plants, there is no definite number of organ in most of the plants. Number of leaves are not fixed, number of branches are not fixed. So this is indefinite also. Okay, but our is definite, it is indeterminate, it is open in case of plant. So this is and this growth here, another thing is that in case of animals, in animal cases, this growth is diffuse. The growth takes place in all the organ, all the part of the organism in a definite proportion. So proportionate growth in case of animal, but in case of plant, it is not that. In plant, this meristem is localized in the shoot apices and in root apices, in the leaf apices, leaf apex. Okay, so this meristematic tissue which will divide, that is located in a certain portion only, in a localized portion. So growth is here is localized in case of plant. So maximum growth, where we notice, this is in root and it shoot apices, shoot system, that is at the apex portion. At the tip portion, we find that the plant at its tips, new leaves, shoots, etc. are coming out. So this is what happened. So this apical meristem, no, apical meristem, there is in case of plant, actually there are two type of growth. One is called the primary growth, and another one is secondary growth. Okay, primary growth is that with the apical meristem. Apical meristem, this form the tissue and here it makes the primary tissues, and the growth is primary growth. And here mainly the plant body mainly increase in its length of the organ. But in case of after the primary growth in gymnosperm and dicot plant, okay, they have, along with the apical meristem, they have lateral meristem. Is it? They have lateral meristem. What are those lateral meristem? These lateral meristems are, okay, this lateral meristems, they are the cambium, we can call them vascular cambium and cork cambium. This vascular cambium and cork cambium, they are present only in the gymnosperm and dicot plant. So here their position is lateral, okay, and they give rise increase in the girth of organ. Means a plant body increase in its diameter. So here this one is called the secondary growth. So this secondary growth is limited in certain plants only. Secondary growth is limited in certain plants only, and this growth is okay. Another thing is about the growth, that the growth can be measured. That growth we can measure it. How to measure? Say, as we have learned from the definition that the growth is increase, irreversible increase. So growth is there is increase in length. So growth we can measure in terms of length or in terms of area that it start cover, in terms of volume, okay, in terms of weight, that weight of the fresh weight or dry weight. Fresh and dry weight. Fresh weight means before drying the plant parts. That is called the fresh weight. And after drying the plant part, that it's almost all the water is evaporated, and the those volatile substances in evaporated. After that, whatever the weight remain, that is called the dry weight. So increase in the dry weight. By this way means we can measure the growth. So it is measured by a variety of parameters like fresh weight, dry weight, length, area, volume, cell number. Also, that how many cells have been produced or the cell increase. The growth has different phase, period of growth. When the growth is taking place, that period we can divide into usually in three phases. Okay, one is called meristematic phase, elongation phase, and maturation phase. Say this meristematic phase, if we see the root, a growing root, then at the tip of the root there is meristem, is it? So in this phase, what happened? Meristematic cell divide and increase in the number of cells. Once this cell, so this is the meristematic phase. Once this cell is divided, the cell number has increased, then what happened? That the newly smaller cells, these cells say they are small, so after that the cell will increase in their size. All right, they will increase in their size. So when the cell will increase in size, the length of that organ also is increases. So here, this is called the elongation phase. In this, I think in the root, different phases of root, different region of the root, there is a meristematic zone. So meristematic zone, meristematic phase, and after that the zone of elongation. In this zone of elongation, the root that elongate very fast due to that the newly formed cell enlarge in size, and after that, once this has taken place, then those when the cell has enlarged, after that there is a specialization. The cell has to actually carry out certain function, and all the structure, we should remember that the structure of an organism or its organ or a cell is according to the type of work it will carry out. So these cells, once it has formed, they have to carry out certain different function because there is a division of labor. So the cells, this enlarged cell, undergo process of maturation. This is also known as differentiation, cell differentiation. Okay, that the cell modify, change. Say some young cell, this one, say this one will change into a sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma fiber, the cell will elongate, its cell wall will increase, cell wall will become very thick, it will be lignified. So this will assume a different shape. Some cell may be required to change into tracheids or vessels. Trachid or vessel. So this way, what happens? They undergoes maturation, and in the maturation process, the cell cytoplasm also may increase, vacuoles, etc. is produced, cell wall thickening increases, cell shape may change, many different chemical are deposited. Okay, so different types of structural changes takes place, and this is known as the maturation, and this is the maturation phase. So this phases of growth: meristematic, elongation, and maturation phase. Next, let us come to the things that is the growth rate. Growth rate means that is growth taking place per unit time. That is increase, growth is increase, and this increase per unit time. This per unit time calculation, maybe it is per minute, or it may be per hour, or it may be per day, or in the month or year. No? So per day is a very common one, which is usually if we have to see the growth per day, how much length or the weight is increasing. So this is the growth rate. Now this, according to the growth rate, we can divide this growth into two types. Okay, one is called the arithmetic growth, another is geometrical growth. In the arithmetic growth, what happens? The rate of growth or this increase is uniform. This one is uniform. Growth rate is uniform. But in case of geometrical growth, this growth rate changes. It is not uniform. And it changes with time. Initially, maybe it is slow, then the rate of growth will increase very fast, and again it may be slow. So in the arithmetic growth, what happened? That particularly this one we can see in the root and the shoot apices, where the meristematic tissue is there. So, from this diagram, you can make out this the two different types of growth. Hello, uh, I'm in the class. क्लास चल रहा है आप ऋषभ देख तो बाहर है दो डके हाँ here is the arithmetic growth. Actually what happened in case of in the root, okay, root meristematic zone, what happened? The meristematic cell, say one cell is there, this will divide into two cells. One will retain the capacity of the division, other one will differentiate. It will not divide further. Again, this one will divide, one will retain the capacity of division and the other one will differentiate. So what is happening, that every time there is a increase in one cell, is it? So we can say there is a uniform growth is there. Rate of growth is uniform with time. Rate of growth is not changing. So this one you can see that one cell is there. From one cell, two cell has formed. These two cells, one is permanent, and this one again divide and give another cell. This also become permanent. So at every generation, only one cell is increasing. So this is the arithmetic type of growth. And these things happen usually at the root and shoot apices, where now this we can plot a graph for this. If we plot a graph for this, then we can see one thing. Say this one, in one side, you can see in one axis, we have taken the height of the height of the plant, and this side is time. This is height, increase in height or increase in length. And as the rate of increase is uniform, so we get a graph which is a straight line. So arithmetic growth gives a uniform straight line, or it is also known as a linear curve. This is give a linear graph, a linear curve. Okay. So, but in case of geometric growth, this situation is different. Each cell, they divide. This one cell divide into two. Both are having the capacity of division, and they will increase. They will divide. So first, the number of increase in one has from one cell has been new cell has been added, but in the next time three new cells have been added, three cells added. So from 1 to 4, next division if takes place, see how many cells will be added. It is every time it is becoming double. Okay, so rate of increase or the rate of growth is changing every time, and this is the geometric this is called geometric growth. And here this is what happened in most of the system. This type of things we can get. Most of the system we can get this type of things, say for unicellular organism. Cellular organism, that is at the organism level. Unicellular organism divide to form for two cell will form four. This at the level of cells, at the level of tissue and organism. This thing happen. And what happened, this geometric growth, initially it is slow. The rate of growth is slow, but gradually it becomes very fast, and then again it becomes slow or it stop. Okay, so what happened that initially it is slow, become very fast, and then slow. Why? Because in the environment, in the substratum, in a culture medium, the nutrition is limited and other factor also interfere, so that does not remain very favorable for the growth. And when the condition are not favorable for the growth, then rate of growth decline. Okay, so this is happen. You can see here, you can see this in this graph. Here in this graph, this is a graph showing for the geometrical growth. Here it is, here initially the growth is slow. See, with the time is increasing, but the growth rate is almost stagnant. And then it is gradually the rate increases, and then it become very fast. So it is with little time it is increasing very fast, but after that a time come, then the rate of growth that slows down and then become stationary. So these are the phase. This is called the lag phase, and this one exponential phase, or it is also known as log phase. Okay, log phase, and then it is stationary. These things happen in the natural population also. Say like in a grass field, if the deer numbers are increasing, then what will happen? That the grassland, in the grassland, the grasses will be limited gradually due to the repeated grazing, and they will not get the regeneration time. So the food will be limited for this increasing number of deer, and then their health will be affected, their reproductive ability will decrease, and so gradually the growth rate will decrease. That the way it was. So this is the exponential phase. Next is that for the growth, what is required? The food is required, water, oxygen, and nutrient. These are the important thing. That, and also that light is one of the fact, temperature is another factor. Okay, this type of things are there. Now let us come related to the growth. One thing is that is the differentiation, de-differentiation, and redifferentiation. Differentiation, initially I have told during the process of growth that meristematic phase, then there is elongation phase, and then maturation phase. No, that the maturation, they after the new cells are formed, this new cell differentiate, that is they get specialized, they get specialized. Hmm. They get specialized. So during this specialization, there are several changes, structural changes takes place, which will be suitable for their function to perform. Changes takes place, and so this is maturation process. So this is differentiation. So what happened by differentiation from the meristem? They are developed permanent tissue, And in the permanent tissue, this cell do not divide. All right. But what happens? The plant may require that their cell, those cells should divide. Is it? The cell should divide. Say like in case of dicot and those in gymnosperm, there is a cambium lateral tissue. Secondary growth is there, is it? Secondary growth, and the secondary growth is by lateral meristem. Meristem, that cork cambium, and the interfascicular cambium. Interfascicular cambium and cork cambium, these develop from the permanent cell, permanent living cell. So this permanent living cell come back to meristematic activity. When the permanent cell come back to meristematic activity, then this is called de-differentiation. I will say this is a meristem, okay? Meristem change into permanent. This is differentiation. This permanent tissue again come back to meristem. This is de-differentiation. And once this secondary growth, these things takes place, this meristem again may change to permanent. When their function is over, this one de-differentiated one, they can change into the permanent tissue. Okay, and this one is called again differentiation. No, so it is re-differentiation. So like some injury is there. Injury is there in the plant body, in a stem or leaf or anywhere. So then this injured portion will be healed. How it will be healed? That the new cells should be added to there. So what happened? The cells neighboring this injured part will become meristematic, and they will produce new cell. They will heal that part, and once the healing is complete, again those cells, neighboring cells, no, they become permanent. So this is called the redifferentiation. These things are used a lot in case of tissue culture, etc. also. Okay. So differentiation, redifferentiation, then there is term is development. Actually, growth is one thing and development is another thing. Development is development is all those processes. This is sum of all the processes that takes place in our life, right from our birth to the till death. So in case of plant, the organism is starting with the say one egg zygote. From the zygote it is forming the embryo, that embryo, it in the seed germinate, it grow, it flower, it fruit, and then there is after all this there is a death, senescence. Okay, so all this process, whatever takes place from birth to death, they are together. It is called the development, and this is a in proper order. All these processes come. So this is very highly ordered process. Okay, this is very highly ordered process. All changes that an organism goes through during its life cycle from germination of seed to senescence. This is very highly ordered succession of the event, and this is controlled by the genetic, hormonal, and also environmental facts. So this developmental process is almost, it is predetermined because it is controlled by genetics, the gene, and along with that there are hormones are there, they also take part, and then some external forces what we see in the environment, that our nutrition, our light, temperature, water, oxygen, space, everything, all many factors are there, so that development is involved. And this plant they follow. Okay, another thing, this is one, I think you can see this what you will get in your book also. From the book, this one has been, so this is a diagrammatic representation of the process of diagrammatic representation of this process of that this growth, different phases. Okay, developmental process. See here it is showing the meristematic cell. This meristematic cells, there is a plasmatic growth. Plasmatic growth means our growth mainly is due to the increase in the amount of protoplasm. So there is a plasmatic growth, the cell increase in volume, new protoplasm is synthesized. Then after that there is a differentiation. This differentiation takes place. When the differentiation takes place, there is expansion, elongation, this then this cell maturation is there, that we have learned in the process, and it forms the mature cell, and once this cell is mature, then there is senescence, that is the death. Okay, this is death takes place, and sometime the meristematic cell does not go for the differentiation, but they again divide. So this is meristematic cell, this plasmatic growth, protoplasm is produced, and again it go for cell division. Okay, this can be continued, or the growth can take place. Okay, another thing that there is the plant life growth and development. These things are influenced by the various environmental factors, right? This factors that the environmental factors, they influence a lot, and due to that the plant also has to change a lot in their lifestyles and their structure. So one of the things that the plant has the capacity to change or respond according to the environmental condition, and this is what is called the uh, plasticity of the plant, or plasticity of living organism. We also means we adapt according to our change situation, change condition. So one of the plasticity that is seen in terms of heterophyly. Heterophyly, hetero means different, heterophyly, that the same plant having different leaf structure. Okay, this thing is very common in the plant. Initially you can see that initial stage, when the plant just germinate, at that time they have one type of leaf, but when they are mature they have another type of leaf. So in the basal portion and at the top portion the leaf is different. This is showing that heterophyly in the larkspur, that a garden flower. See, this is initial shape of the leaf, and here it is, you can see this has been divided into 3 to 4 part. The leaf shape is different. This is heterophyly. Heterophyly is very common in aquatic plant, and particularly the plant which is growing partially submerged. That is, half of the plant is inside water and half or rest of the plant is above the water level, that is in the air. Those leaves in the air, they are usually their lamina is broad, but those portion of the leaf plant which is inside water, there the leaf is dissected type. Okay, see here one plant, it is showing the plant growing in water and plant growing in terrestrial habit. This one is buttercup. Okay, when it is underwater, then it is this leaf, same leaf, this is very much dissected. This adaptation is to avoid the water current, that the stress due to the water current. If they are very broad, then what will happen? This will be damaged by the water current. So the leaf is very much dissected, segmented, but this same species of the plant is grown in the terrestrial condition, the leaf shape is different. So heterophyly is a very good example of the plasticity. Another things related to the growth and development is that is the phototropism and vernalization. Photoperiodism. Photoperiod. Period. Period, that is the duration, and photo light. The how long a plant is getting light and dark alternately, light condition and the dark condition alternately, that also influence the physiological process of the plant. Particularly here we will see related to the that related to this flowering. It has been observed that the for flowering of many plants require certain period of certain duration of light alternating with the dark period. Okay, so repeated light and dark period and particular duration for the light is required. This phenomenon is known as photoperiod. So if they are not getting that much light, that much duration of light, then the plant will fail to flower. Some plant they require longer day length, the other require shorter day length. Okay, so this is the long day plant and short day plant. Now, what is this that longer day length and the shorter day length? This is one term is there that is called the critical day length or the critical period. Critical period is the duration below which a long day plant will not flower. Is the duration below which a long day plant will not flower or above which a short day plant will not flower. Say a plant which can flower in 6 hours of light and then there is dark period. Long dark period and light period is short. Okay, in 7 hours if it is given this also that it flower, given 8 hours it flower, but it may happen if it is given 9 hours of light then it will not flower. So this is that 9 hour is the limit or little below this, that above this if day length is given the plant will not flower. This will be a short day plant. Like that way maybe long day plant is there. So there are long day plants. So long day plants they do not flower above this critical, they will flower only above the critical period or above the critical duration. Critical duration is different and the critical duration is different for different plant. So there are short day plant and long day plant. Of course, some plants they do not respond to this light period. They usually flower at any duration of the light and dark they are getting. Those plants are known as, that is the day neutral plant. Okay, they are the day neutral plant. So long day, short day, photoperiodism. Then another thing is for the flowering, for flower initiation require the cold temperature treatment. Okay, cold temperature treatment, and this phenomenon, that the requirement of cold temperature treatment for initiation of flowering is called vernalization. These things are mainly found in winter crop, those biennials. These biennials like the sugar beet, carrot, cabbage, they are usually, we know that they are winter crop. No, they will flower only after getting the cold treatment during the winter. Chilling temperature, this is nearly 4 degrees Celsius. So very cold temperature is required. There are wheat varieties, wheat, barley, rye, varieties of winter varieties of wheat, barley, and rye. These varieties are usually they are uh, mm, uh, they are cultivated during autumn. Autumn, these are sown and they grow, move through the pass through the winter cold, and after winter they flower and fruit, and by the summer, beginning of the summer, these plants are harvested. So this is vernalization. For the photoperiodism and vernalization, usually it is said that there are perhaps some hormone is there. Hormone is there that due to the cold treatment, or in case of photoperiodism, due to this dark and light period, those hormones are synthesized and they induce flowering. But so far, no hormone has been extracted. This is only a hypothesis. Sometime it has been found that in the long day or short day plant, this spraying of some of the plant hormone like gibberellin, etc., can induce flowering in those short day plants. So this is in case of this photoperiodism, photoperiodic stimulus for the photoperiodism is received by its leaves. So photoperiodic stimulus is received by leaves, and the vernalization, this cold treatment stimulus is received by the growing shoot apices. Okay, shoot apices receive the cold treatment and the leaves receive the photoperiodic induction stimulus. Okay, today end of this class. Do you have any question or any query? Hello?
No, sir.
If you have any, you can later on also you can send